What's going on, everybody? Augment Dan here. So, update 20.7.0 is out, and we're just going to quickly talk about that, but let me just grab this while I am here. Oops, no, I don't want that. I need that. Need one of those also. And finally finished. Oh, yeah, whatever. Okay, so we got that. So now that's all out of the way. Oberon Prime. So right now the only thing I've got is the blueprint. I've managed to get a blueprint. That's it. I don't have anything else yet. But then again, anyone that's been following me knows I've been away and traveling. Haven't had any time to do anything. But update 20.7, not a big update, and I don't anticipate that we'll have any big updates coming out between now and TennoCon. TennoCon will probably be the next biggest update. However, there are 4 new mods in the game, 4 new augments, if you will. And I'll take a quick look at all 4 of them here and just kind of give you my idea. Transistor Shield would probably be the best out of all of these 4 that have been released, in my opinion, if you are a team player and you are a Volt guy. So as you can see, allies can pick up the electric shield. 100% of that damage absorbed will be added to Volt's static discharge. So, if I am correct, I haven't run Volt in a while. Volt can drop down up to 4 of these electric shields. So, in a mission, he can drop all 4 and everybody could grab one. And it's going to help him out anyway, because all that extra damage absorbed is going to the static discharge. Which, I mean, that essentially is awesome. How hard it is to put that into your current build, I'm not sure. I'm not fond of augments per se. There's only one frame that I really use augments on, and that's my Loki. But this one seems like a pretty good one. Okay, guided effigy. So let's just max that up there so you can see it. It's interesting, but I don't know that I would change chroma just to put this on here. I mean, it really depends upon how much you've put time into it, but you basically can take your effigy and move it. While moving, it'll do 2,000 damage per second, and then at the end, when you find the spot that you want it to be in, it will stun nearby enemies. It does seem pretty decent, but I don't know that personally I would give up a mod slot that I have for chroma just to add the augment in this case. Please do feel free to share below. I don't run chroma that often, so I'd be curious what other people think on that. Magnetized discharge. Waha. So, manually detonating magnetize by recasting on the target. Enemies hit have a 50% chance to become disarmed. Personally, I'm going to say no to it. I mean, 50% chance to be disarmed, okay. But that's only half the time if you're lucky. Having to recast, you're using more energy to recast. I mean, there's a lot of variables. Again, I'm not using mag much anymore these days. So if somebody else is, I'd be curious what their thoughts on it are. But to me, this seems like an immediate pass. And then we have Chroma Blade, or Chromatic Blade, if you will, which is basically taking Chroma to Excalibur. By changing your energy color, you can decide what type of damage is dealt, and the status chances increase by an extra 50%. Seems pretty good. I heard earlier today that it was broken, but don't hold me to it because I have not tried it yet. I could probably fit this onto my Excalibur because I'm always ever changing him around anyway in terms of my setups on him when I do play him. So it's something I could probably put in there, and I could see where changing your damage type depending on your energy color could be good, especially with the status chance increase. But again, you're asking a lot from people when the majority of people are playing this just to shoot that exalted blade most of the time new players aren't even considering this or thinking about it. They just want to use that ultimate because that's the easy, cheesy way to do it, which seems pretty crappy to me. Maybe worth a try. I might try it out at some point, but don't hold me to it, to be honest. Like I said, I'm not a big augment guy. I think if they added an augment slot to the frames, then maybe it would be something that more people would try and use as it is. And I don't really see a disadvantage to it, and I don't see it hurting anybody in any way to add an extra slot in there, an augment slot in there, like you've done with the other stuff. I really don't see it. I mean, we are talking PvE game here. In this case, you know what I'm saying? So I don't see where it would be a big issue to add one mod slot in there specifically for augments for people to really play around and get their setups even deeper. Oh, but wait a minute. There is no end game to really have any efficient way of telling how this works. I'm just saying. You can't consider the, going 2 hours on a survival end game. It's just not. But it would be nice to be able to really mod your stuff a bit more if you had that augment slot. Now, as I've done in the past, and I will do on every single video when this does happen, those 4 mods were given out to all Day 1 Access members, which are basically Warframe partners and media that do have access to it for the purpose of viewing and reviewing. And that's pretty much what we're doing right there. And like I said, the Vault one, this one seems the best to me, and it may be something that I could try to play around with, because I still play around with the Vault setup as well. I've never really found one for me with modding that I've liked 100% that I wouldn't change him. So this one may be something that I do follow up on and actually try it out. Otherwise, there were just some minor changes and updates and stuff, nothing big and crazy going on in 20.7. And like I said, that's probably just because there is simply not going to be a lot happening until the TennoCon, I would say, when we see the next big update, which will probably releases Harrow and all that stuff that's been talked about. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, back to hopefully farming, but it could be months before I see these new Prime Access stuff with the limited amount of time that I get in this game. Anyway, comments, questions, I'll catch you guys soon. Thanks for tuning in.